Hey kids, welcome back to another episode of Riding in Cars with Music Teachers. I'm your host, Mr. Walby, and today we're going to be talking about conducting. Yay! So first off, what is a conductor? Let's take a look at several conductors and see if you recognize what conducting is. Have you ever seen anything like that before? Probably so. But what you may not know is why a conductor does what they do, how they do it, and who gets to be that person up there on stage moving their hands around. And that's what we want to talk about today. And we even want to show you how to do some conducting. So today, you're going to learn a little bit about conducting. We're going to learn some conducting patterns so that you can conduct. And then we've got a really nice song with a real conductor where you can conduct and sing along with him. So let's begin.
If you've ever seen an orchestra, choir, or band perform, you've probably seen a conductor in action. To the untrained eye, the conductor's job might seem like glorified stick waving, but he or she is in fact a vital member of the ensemble, whose talent measurably improves the performance. The most basic role of a conductor is to keep the performers playing together. A musical piece is divided into measures, each with a specified number of beats. Beats are evenly spaced pulses in the music, and the conductor will demonstrate when these beats should occur with hand gestures. These hand gestures might be emphasized with a baton, but many conductors choose to use only their hands, in an effort to provide more expressiveness. While conductors can technically signal beats with whatever gestures they would like, there are some basic patterns that have become standard. For example, if a piece of music has 3 beats in each measure, this pattern is often used. Within this pattern, each beat has an ictus, or a precise moment that signals when the beat should occur. The first beat in the measure, also called the downbeat, is the strongest and most important, so it is signaled with a large downward gesture, with the ictus finally occurring at the bottom of the pattern. In order to make the location of the ictus perfectly clear, the conductor rebounds slightly after each beat. A good conductor ensures that his or her gestures are clear to the ensemble, and conductors who are less visible, like a drum major conducting a marching band, use more rigid conducting patterns to compensate. All of this technique might seem a bit like overkill. Surely a group of well-trained musicians can play together simply by listening to each other. To a certain extent this is true, and small groups like brass ensembles or barbershop quartets might perform perfectly well without a conductor. However, the larger an ensemble becomes, the more necessary it is for the musicians to have a visual reference for the beat. This is because sound takes time to travel across the ensemble, so if a tuba player is listening to a violinist to determine where the beats in the measure are, the tuba player will be consistently playing too late. With a visual reference for the beat, however, both the tuba player and the violinist play their music in sync, even if it doesn't sound like it to them.
So let's start with our first set of questions today. What is a conductor, and why do we need conductors? Well, that first question is pretty simple. A conductor is somebody who does not play an instrument, but they're part of the musical group. And that person's job is to move their hands around and to express music with their body instead of being able to express music by playing an instrument. So a conductor doesn't talk, a conductor doesn't sing, they don't play an instrument. all they do is move their body. But they are part of the musical performance, even though their part is completely silent. So why do we need somebody like that? Why do we need someone who's not playing any instrument, they're not singing any song, they're totally silent, but they are part of that musical performance? Why do we need them? And the answer is because we need somebody, a good musician, who can give all the other musicians feedback on how they're playing. Because when you're playing an instrument, you can't always tell what you sound like. You may be singing and you say, am I singing too loud? Am I singing too soft? I can't tell while I'm singing. It's the same with an instrument. You may be playing the violin. Are you too fast? Are you too slow? Is the whole violin section, is that too loud and now you can't hear the cellos? I don't know. Especially if you're playing the violin, you need somebody that's able to tell you. And they need to tell you in the middle of the concert. But if they said, hey, you guys are too loud, that would mess up the concert. Then you hear this person yelling at all these musicians. You can't enjoy the music. So the conductor, they're able to give you feedback without ever saying it. They do it just through body motions. And through that body motion, they can tell you quite a lot of things. And so for a conductor has to learn about how to say these things with their body. They learn how to count with their body. They know how to say, oh, too loud, or get louder. They can say, oh, smooth and easy, or sort of bouncy, bump, 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 bump. And they learn how to talk with their bodies. But as musicians, as all the people playing, you learn how to look at a conductor, and you learn how to be able to figure out what they're trying to say to you. So it's a relationship between both the musicians and the conductor.
To get an idea of what a conductor does, we turn to Gustavo Dudamel, the conductor of the LA Philharmonic.
The action of conducting is connecting with the musicians. My right hand normally it gives the beat. The baton is an extension of the arm for everybody to see. And if it's a little bit loud with my left hand, I can say less, or I have to, do an entrance to somebody, or if I want longer. It's a combination of things. I think the conductor is not only the person that moves in front of an orchestra and shows the tempo or the dynamics. It's a person that have to guide and inspire.
There's really two parts to conducting. One part is keeping the beat. We need somebody who's in charge of counting. And so part of the conductor's job is to count. They will say 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't say it with their mouth, so they say it with their hands. So you're playing one thing, but the conductor is conducting that beat, and you can follow along with that beat. So counting is part of the conductor's job, but it's not the only job of the conductor. The second part is expression. Expression and dynamics. Are you playing too loud or too soft? Do you want to play it sort of bouncy or really smooth? All those things are part of that. And also there's a part of cueing people. That's where you say, all right, are you ready? Start. Now it's your turn. Start. And so one part of the conductor is to count. The other part is to show the expression of how quiet or loud, and also to cue people. And they typically use the two hands for each job. So one hand will be your have the counting job. The other hand will be the expression hand that shows you how to conduct. And it also may be the cueing hand. Now sometimes both hands will share the jobs. For example, if this hand is my counting hand, it's going to just count like this all the time. But it can count in a lot of different ways. It could go la 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 la, as smooth as it can be, or it could be boom 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 dee 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 dee. It can show you how to count it in sort of an expressive way. But what it always is doing is counting. This hand will never just stop and say smooth. Nope, if its job is to count, it is always counting. Likewise, my other hand is an expression hand. It may say quiet, quiet, loud, loud. And it can stop. It doesn't have to conduct. Sometimes it may work. The two work together, so it'll still conduct. It'll still keep time, or it'll keep time. It'll keep time a little bit, but not with all the beats. Like boom, 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 boom. So one hand is expression. The other hand is for counting. And those are the two basic jobs of our hands.
How to read conductor gestures by your most unqualified source for music education. This is an upbeat. This is a downbeat. And that's all you need to know. The end. Let's talk about beats. These are the 4 beats in a 4/4 time signature. 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the beats in a 3/4 time signature. 1, 2, 3. These are the beats in a 2/4 time signature. 1, 2. And these are the beats when your conductor is lost. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. Now, these are textbook pathways only. In reality, conductors will vary with their own personal styles. This is scientifically proven to be the best method to begin Beethoven's Symphony No. 5. So in case you have a crazy conductor, what do? The key here is to remember that you have a concertmaster. Follow the concertmaster to come in, and once the music begins, simply count, listen, and play in time. There are 3 incidences, however, where you may have no choice to look at the conductor. These are accelerando, ritenuto, or in other words, tempo changes, and pause. If a conductor is not awkwardly mirroring the right hand with the left, then the left hand can actually often provide valuable performance information through cues and gestures. First, let's talk about cues. Cues are a conductor's way of showing you when to come in, in case you weren't counting. The irony of cues, however, is that the conductor is human too. You do not want to get into the habit of relying on cues, for it is not uncommon for conductors to forget to cue you on the day of the performance, or worse, cue you at the wrong time. Apart from cueing, the left hand can also provide certain gestures to help aid your interpretation. This means louder. This means softer. This means, shut up, you're playing too loud. This means be mysterious and vague. This means accent. This means vibrate. This means tiger palm. This means suddenly go soft. Peekaboo. This means taper off gently, and this means to stop.
Let's now talk a little bit about the counting. In counting music, a conductor has these patterns. You've probably already noticed this pattern that I'm making. This pattern is the pattern for 4/4 of our time signature. If you remember back, we had a lesson a couple weeks ago about time signatures where we talked about 4/4, 3/4, and 6/8. These are patterns that a conductor needs to know because each time signature has its own pattern. Today, we're going to be talking about 2 patterns, and you're going to learn these 2 patterns. Those are the patterns for 4/4 and 6/8. So, when I have the 4/4 pattern, that means I'm going to have 4 beats in each measure, and my hand has to express it. So it says 1, 2, 3, 4. And let me just show you in another way. So my hand comes down and it sort of hits an imaginary place. We call it the ictus. It hits that ictus. I can take my hand away and you can still see it. Boom, 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 boom. That is our beat. So it'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. And the way that my hand moves, that 1 is always going down. We call it the downbeat because of this. The downbeat, the hand goes down, down, and then my hand has to go across my body for 2. So if I'm using this would be 2. 1, 2. Or with this hand, 1, 2. It's going across my body. And for 3, I jump all the way on the other side, away from my body. 3, and then for 4, I'm going to make it bounce back up. 4. But 4 is not way up here. 4 is actually down here, so it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then it bounces up, ready for 1 again. And that's our pattern. Let's try this pattern ourselves together. So get out those hands with me. So we're going to go down, inside, crossing our body, outside, away from our body, and then up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and do this with me right now. Get that body moving. Try to make that hand move smoothly as you go between these 4 beats. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could do it faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like that. Now if I want 2 hands, they're going to be a mirror image. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you do this with me? Try that with me. It's sort of fun. And that is counting that 4/4 pattern. Why don't we take a look at a song using the 4/4 pattern and see if you can conduct along with me to that song. This song I'm going to play today, this is a song that comes from the jazz musician Duke Ellington. If you're one of my students in class, you may have heard me tell a Duke Ellington story this year. Duke Ellington is a musician, a composer who came from Washington, D.C., right where, really close to where we live. And he was born, I believe it was around 1896, 1897, somewhere around there, and he dies in the 1970s. He died as a pretty old guy, nothing horrible. But during his lifetime, he became known for jazz music, writing thousands of jazz pieces. He became famous in Washington, D.C., but eventually his fame would be worldwide. And so the song I'm going to play for you today is called It Don't Mean a Thing, and we're going to try to conduct our 4/4 pattern to it. It starts with a violin solo. The conductor wouldn't conduct that. He would just bring in the group. Oh, not yet. But here it is. See if you can move your hands right with mine. Now it's got some horns. That's my cueing hand. And the horns. If you remember our beats, it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you can be a little creative with your movements. You want to keep the pattern, but you can change it around a little bit. See if you can capture the sense of that music. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We could do both hands. And so that's how we do 4/4. A nice little pattern with that. Now the next pattern I want to look at today is the pattern of 3/4. We have 4/4 where we have 4 beats in a measure. Now we have 3/4 where we only have 3 beats, and that pattern is different. So I still have my down beat, my 1, and it's still going to go down just like in 4/4. But now my 2 isn't going to go this way. My 2 is going to come across like this. So it looks more like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now, with both hands, they are a mirror image, so that 2 is going to go away from me, like this. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's try that with me. We'll try with one hand, and then we'll add the second hand. See if you can conduct 3, 4 with me. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let's try a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Do you want to try 2 hands? Let's slow it down a little bit, and then we'll add that second hand in. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And so one hand is your counting hand, and the other one will then do the expression. Now, for this next song, I don't want to conduct it myself because I'm a musician. I can conduct just like every other musician. We all learn conducting, just like how I want you to know how to conduct. You're a musician too, and we all conduct. But sometimes it's really nice to watch a real conductor. Like, this is the person, this is what they do. They don't teach lessons, they don't play songs. They are now just known as a conductor. And when they conduct, you can see how they control their body in such a musical way. So the conductor I want to show you today, his name is Eric Whitacre. And Eric Whitacre is a conductor of virtual choirs. So his choirs, they don't get to be right in front of him. He has learned how to do the thing where he conducts over a video, and all the musicians sing over their videos, and they send him the video, and he turns it into a great big musical performance. He actually has been doing this for years, even when everybody was allowed to meet together. But now that we're all not allowed to be together, we have social distancing, now his conducting is even more important because nobody can come together to conduct. So here is a video where he is conducting the music, and it's going to be in 3/4, and I want you to follow along that 3/4 and see if you can conduct along with him. Now you'll notice in the song that he's conducting, there'll be a moment where it'll change. It will become 4/4 for a little bit, and you can see his pattern change, and then it'll go back to 3/4, and you'll get to see that. You'll also notice that his song, it's a very expressive song. It doesn't just go ba 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 ba. Sometimes it's like ba 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 bum bum bum. Sometimes it's faster, it's slower. It's a song where you really need a conductor. And so you can, as you watch the video, you can see how that real conductor really works it to get people to go faster with them or slower, to be quieter, or to be more energetic. So watch this video and try it out yourself.
Of
All right, I hope you like that. Now, I do want to show you one more little thing. The video that I just showed you, this is Eric Whitacre conducting a choir that hasn't made a performance yet, so I don't have a final performance of this video to show you, but he has conducted some other groups where they have made their performance, and I want to show you one of those today. So I'm going to leave you today with this video of Eric Whitacre conducting one of his virtual choirs, and this is the final output of all those people who sing along with him. Alright kids, that's about all the time I've got today. I hope you're having all a really great week. I hope you get out and get a lot of sunlight, as much sunlight as you can, and I can't wait to see you again whenever it is that we get to see each other again. So have a good week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.